Second section of the appendix of My Bondage and My Freedom by Frederick Douglass, containing an extract from Reverend Dr. Campbell's reply to Douglass's speech at Finsbury Chapel, Moorfields, England, May 12, 1846. Narrated by Greducator. Dr. Campbell's reply. From Reverend Dr. Campbell's brilliant reply, we extract the following. Frederick Douglass, the beast of burden, the portion of goods and chattels, the representative of 3 millions of men, has been raised up. Shall I say the man? If there is a man on earth, he is a man. My blood boiled within me when I heard his address tonight, and thought that he had left behind him 3 millions of such men. We must see more of this man. We must have more of this man. One would have taken a voyage round the globe some 40 years back, especially since the introduction of steam, to have heard such an exposure of slavery from the lips of a slave. It will be an era in the individual history of the present assembly. Our children, our boys and girls, I have tonight seen the delightful sympathy of their hearts evinced by their heaving breasts, while their eyes sparkled with wonder and admiration that this black man, this slave, had so much logic, so much wit, so much fancy, so much eloquence. He was something more than a man, according to their little notions. Then I say we must hear him again. We have got a purpose to accomplish. He has appealed to the pulpit of England. The English pulpit is with him. He has appealed to the press of England. The press of England is conducted by English hearts, and that press will do him justice. About 10 days hence, and his second master, who may well prize, quote, such a piece of goods, will have the pleasure of reading his burning words, and his first master will bless himself that he has got quit of him. We have to create public opinion, or rather not to create it, for it is created already, but we have to foster it. And when tonight I heard those magnificent words, the words of Curran, by which my heart from boyhood has oft times been deeply moved, I rejoiced to think that they embody an instinct of an Englishman's nature. I heard with inexpressible delight how they told on this mighty mass of the citizens of the metropolis. Britain has now no slaves. We can therefore talk to the other nations now, as we could not have talked a dozen years ago. I want the whole of the London ministry to meet Douglass, for as his appeal is to England and throughout England, I should rejoice in the idea of churchmen and dissenters merging all sectional distinctions in this cause. Let us have a public breakfast. Let the ministers meet him. Let them hear him. Let them grasp his hand, and let him enlist their sympathies on behalf of the slave. Let him inspire them with abhorrence of the man-stealer, the slaveholder. No slaveholding American shall ever cross my door. No slaveholding or slavery-supporting minister shall ever pollute my pulpit. While I have a tongue to speak or a hand to write, I will, to the utmost of my power, oppose these slaveholding men. We must have Douglass amongst us to aid in fostering public opinion. The great conflict with slavery must now take place in America, and while they are adding other slave states to the Union, our business is to step forward and help the abolitionists there. It is a pleasing circumstance that such a body of men has risen in America, and whilst we hurl our thunders against her slavers, let us make a distinction between those who advocate slavery and those who oppose it. George Thompson has been there. This man, Frederick Douglass, has been there, and has been compelled to flee. I wish, when he first set foot on our shores, he had made a solemn vow and said, "Now that I am free, and in the sanctuary of freedom, I will never return till I have seen the emancipation of my country completed." He wants to surround these men, the slaveholders, as by a wall of fire, and he himself may do much toward kindling it. Let him travel over the island, east, west, north, and south, everywhere diffusing knowledge and awakening principle, till the whole nation become a body of petitioners to America. He will, he must do it. He must for a season make England his home. He must send for his wife. He must send for his children. I want to see the sons and daughters of such a sire. We too must do something for him and them worthy of the English name. I do not like the idea of such a man of such mental dimensions, such moral courage, and all but incomparable talent, having his own small wants and the wants of a distant wife and children supplied by the poor profits of his publication, the sketch of his life. Let the pamphlet be bought by tens of thousands, but we will do something more for him, shall we not? It only remains that we pass a resolution of thanks to Frederick Douglass, the slave that was, the man that is, he that was covered with chains, and that is now being covered with glory, and whom we will send back a gentleman.